I mean, I saw this list and I'm like, well, first of all, Miss Rachel's on it. That's when they lost me. I was like, what are you guys doing? If Miss Rachel has to come out because she was obviously anti the war in Gaza, anti the genocide, and we've spoken up about it. I mean, there's no doubt in my heart and mind that it's a genocide. People can have other thoughts that they want, and that's fine. If you have your thoughts, that's great. I'm glad that you do. It just seems like that is a wrong thing. There was not a lot of question about it for me. Like I learned about the history of the land, and then I was like, this is just wrong. There's no reason that these children have to be getting killed, that they're experimenting with different weapons and different tactics on this kind of like basically this imprisoned group over there. And then when I saw this in Miss Rachel, I was like, what are we doing? Like, what do you need Bert and Ernie to come out and say that it's a genocide? Like, at what point do people not trust what they're seeing anymore? Exactly. I think I'm kind of amazed that's the part that's made me think sometimes like I'm in this weird blender or aquarium. It's like,
yep.
It's like, should more people speak up? Have not it almost like, why do you feel crazy for speaking up? Like it just should feel like there's more. Exactly. But then it's not my place to think that somebody else should feel the same way or should feel okay about sharing stuff. And it gets kind of scary, you know, it definitely gets super scary, you know?
Why?
I think because, you know, I think you don't really know what's going on. I think that's what it is. And if they would just say, hey, America is a country that's owned by Israel, or that it's always been just this outpost, or it's this LLC of Israel, or it's this, or maybe not even of Israel. It could just be of corporate entities. I'm not really sure exactly. But if they would just tell us, then you can operate from a place of knowing what's going on. But for some reason, there's this weird secretiveness about stuff. And when things are secret, it feels evil because it feels like it's in the dark, right? And then when you see, like, we're watching people dying and kids dying, and it's supposed to feel like it's just in with the next reel and the next trend dance or whatever. It's just, it all becomes confusing. And so those are moments where you do have to lock in, you know, just prayer, asking God, what am I supposed to do? Just trusting like the part inside of yourself that you feel like you've developed over time that's honest, I guess, or just trying to trust your heart, you know? I don't know. Does that make any sense even?
Not only does it make sense, it's so beautifully expressed. Yes, it makes perfect sense. And I think a lot of people watch, I'll speak for myself. I've been brooding on this because my whole job is to try and find out what's happening and then explain it. And it's just an endless series of frustrating cul-de-sacs where you're like, why can't we know this, that, the other thing? I mean, whatever the story is. And in the last 2 weeks, I feel like I've gotten closer to understanding what's actually going on. And of course, I could be completely wrong, but I'm not. And it's made me so much happier because the conclusion, I've sort of let go of a lot of my frustration and fear because I've realized that we already know exactly what this is. No, don't know a lot of the details, you know, could be wrong about this or that, you know, but big picture, we know exactly what's going on.
In 5 years, what am I a citizen of? Am I a citizen of a country that does genocides? Am I a citizen, you know, who am I? You know, like, I think I was watching some of the Gaza stuff and I kept thinking like, well, surely America will come in at some point and help.
And
right?
Stop this.
Right. That was like my thought.
Especially since when you say genocide, you're not guessing. It's not like some propaganda term. It's the definition. And we know that not just from the video of its victims, but from the testimony of the people perpetrating it. Members of the current government, hot cabinet secretaries in the current Israeli government are on tape, including this week, saying, we kill them because of how they were born.
Is that true?
Oh my, yeah.
Like, what's an example of that?
Smotrich, Ben Gvir. Oh, look, we need to get them out.
Let me see.
These are people who were born there.
I just want to see if that's...
Oh, it's insane.
It is?
Because look, people, you know, you often hear apologists for what's happening there, for the atrocities, say, well, look, it's war, people die. Okay. One of the reasons I'm not that enthusiastic about war, because innocents die. We always have to oppose the murder of innocents, or else we're not civilized. What is civilization? We're on the good side. We're civilized. They're savages. There are a lot of savages in this world. I know some. And what separates the savage from the civilized person is the civilized person will never accept the murder of innocents. You didn't do anything wrong. We can't kill you. It's that simple.
Well, I don't like it if it's unfair.
But that's the definition of unfair. You didn't do anything. A child didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Or an unarmed woman did not deserve to be murdered.
And who is this?
So that's Smotrich. That's the finance minister of Israel.
במסגרת המלחמה צה"ל מניע אוכלוסייה מאזורי הלחימה ולא משאיר אבן על אבן. אני אומר לכם, פשוט תסתכלו על הסרטונים.
The truth is, until the last hostage returns, we shouldn't even give water to the Gaza Strip. For a year and a half, we've been beating the hell out of Hamas. We're breaking Gaza apart, leaving it as a pile of rubble, with total unprecedented destruction in the world, and the world still hasn't stopped us. The aim is to achieve the one and only required outcome: the conquest of Gaza, the annihilation of Hamas, and the return of all the hostages. In one word, victory. So that's their view on it right there, you know?
He's saying we're killing people and leveling the country in order to move the population out. So how is that different from saying there's certain people in my capital city I don't want here, I'm going to put them on trains and move them east? There's no difference. People are being killed and expelled from the place where they were born because of their bloodline.
Yeah.
That, in the world that I grew up in, which is the United States of America, the main lesson, the lesson of World War II, the reason we fought against fascism was we reject that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We do not kill people or expel them or put them on trains or put them in internment camps or move them to, quote, third countries, as Smotrich just said, because of how they were born.
Yeah.
Exactly, because of their bloodline. Because we don't accept that because we're Christians. We think that every person was created as an individual and judged as an individual, period.
And this to me
we don't believe in this shit. That's the enemy of civilization right there. The Israelis, to be clear, are not the only people who think this way. Plenty of people think this way. But we are better than all of them because we don't think this way. And all of a sudden, you've got people in the United States, current United States government, you've got people in our media class, they're all defending this because they agree with it. And then you see people jumping up and being like, Muslims shouldn't have jobs in the United States. And it's like, or in the US government. It's like, how is that better than saying Jews shouldn't have jobs or Christians or Buddhists? It's all the same. That kind of thinking is genocidal. It leads to the genocide we're watching right now in Gaza and to many other genocides. For the fifth time, it's not just Israel. It does this, okay? But this is what we're fighting against. This is why we're better. Why are we better? Because we have more and better shopping? Or because we have, Mount Shasta and Key West? No.
Because we have some moral compass.
Exactly.
And we're able to also take care of ourselves at the same time, I think.
But our moral compass is what? It's based on what's north on our moral compass. We don't kill innocents. And yes, we have, and we regret it, and we grieve over it because it's wrong. That's our moral compass right there. If you didn't do anything wrong, we don't get to kill you or expel you from your home because you're innocent, because we believe in justice, also called fairness. That's the whole fucking point of this country. And so when I see people arguing against that or calling me a Nazi when they're literally wholesale adopting the Nazi mindset, but then I think, you know what? I'm not mad. This is the state of play in life. It's always been this way. And my job is what? To love the people around me and to tell the truth no matter what. And I think that's freeing.
Yeah. Well, I do think once you say if I get to a point where I can just share what I think or what I feel, whether I'm right or wrong.
Yes.
If I can speak up for my feelings. But then also, if you look at our history, America did that to other people when it started.
Yes.
And you would think that we'd learn that it was wrong. And that's where we are now.
Well, we've acknowledged that it's wrong. I mean, look, you can acknowledge something is wrong without,
I'm not
self-flagellating to the point where you're incapable of going forward, which is kind
that's
of where
the problem.
we are.
It's like you can't do it to the point where you're incapable of going forward. Like, oh, well, we also, this mistake was made not by us. This mistake was made by people in the past or at that time who believed that colonialism was fine and that was people were playing by a different set of rules.
But that's the whole point of America is that we have standards of decency, fairness. I love that you use that word because that is the core of it. It's fairness.
With TikTok, right? With social media, with trying to own the companies, right? Did you see that video with Netanyahu for the TikTok ownership? This is wild, bro. This is
You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are on social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is class.
Followers. Buy followers.
Somebody said buy followers. How hilarious is that, dude? That's the best.
TikTok. TikTok. Number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential.
Imagine saying that. It's like, what is that? Why did he say that, do you think? Why did he just confirm every crazed anti-Semitic conspiracy online? Jews control everything. And there's literally the prime minister of Israel being like, yes, we control everything. Why would he say something? Well, first of all, he, like Barry Weiss, is kind of stupid, clever, ruthless, but stupid, not creative at all. There's that. But there's a deeper reason, because he's trying to inspire hatred. He's trying to inspire hatred. Yes, we control everything. And I'm not falling for it. I'm not going to be a hater. I don't care what they do.
Well, I mean, we're being a hater in the sense where, like, if you hate against him, but I guess if you're saying it's evil, then yeah, hating evil isn't wrong, right? But here's what I'm wondering. It's like, if you teach me, like, growing up, like, about the Holocaust, you teach me about Nazis, you teach me about evil, and then I take what I've learned, right, and I apply it to the world, and I see it point blank, I see it in Gaza, I see it in the Middle East, I see it in Palestine, and it's the first one where you see these things happening. Like, it's almost like, well, if I had seen slavery on my phone, I'd be like, this is fucked up. If I had seen, you know, it's like, it's the first thing you see. And
did you see that chick who was at some conference recently? I think she was like Carmela Harris's speechwriter, former speechwriter, and she's like, you know, we made a huge mistake, like, talking too much about the Holocaust, because now people are comparing what's happening in Gaza to the Holocaust.
But it's like, don't come in and gaslight me to think now I'm wrong for seeing this. And then imagine if—
Shit, we never should have mentioned the Nazis, because we set absolute standards of behavior that we're now failing to meet, and we're being blamed. It's like, are you—
And then now when this guy says they want to buy TikTok so that the influence is different, like, it's just like, I don't understand.
But to say
why
that
are we
out
the only
loud—
people that feel, or why aren't more people activated about this? It's like watching.
Okay, but can I just make you feel
it's
better?
Like watching something horrible happen, and we can't even ask our own country for help. That's the crazy part. I can't believe that half of our representatives aren't speaking up and saying something like, hey, we're going to shut this down. This is wrong. We're not going to let, because wasn't he condemned by the ICC for—
yeah, they don't care.
He was a condemned war criminal, right? Is that right?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
And I just don't understand how regular people, comedians, and, you know, a guy who loves Johnston and Murphy from Maine are the ones who are fucking having to speak up about that. Like, what is going on?